At this time, we'd like to call the Crystal City Council meeting to order. Let's start with roll call, please.
Mayor Adams.
Here.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Here.
Councilmember Cummings.
Here.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Here.
Councilmember Kamish.
Here.
Councilmember Kiser.
Here.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, first things first, we have some oath of offices to have here, and just a quick word, ladies and gentlemen who are new here, I don't think you need me to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I know your families are proud of what you've done and what you've done to get here, so thank you for your efforts and thank you for your service, or willingness to serve. So at this time, Chrissy, our city clerk, will do the swearing in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Kiser, if I could have you step down to the podium, please. And repeat after me.
I, Therese Kiser,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the United States
and obey the laws of the United States
and the state of Minnesota.
and the state of Minnesota.
And I will,
And I will,
in all respects,
in all respects,
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of the City of Crystal,
and ordinances of the City of Crystal,
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Ward 1
of Ward 1
to the best of my judgment
to the best of my judgment
and abilities, so help me God.
and abilities, so help me God. Thank you. If I could please have Councilmember Kamish step down.
I, Traci Kamish,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the United States
and will obey the laws of the United States
and the state of Minnesota.
and I will,
In all respects,
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of the City of Crystal,
and ordinances of the City of Crystal,
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
of Ward 2
to the best of my judgment
to the best of my judgment
and ability, so help me God.
and ability, so help me God. Thank you.
Member Eidbo, if you could please step down.
I, Forrest Eidbo, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and obey the laws of the United States and the state of Minnesota. And I will, in all respects, and observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the City of Crystal. And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Section 2 Council Member to the best of my judgment and ability. So help me God. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, everyone. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda itself. Go ahead.
It's kind of custom, but I don't have to be the first. I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right, looking for a second. Go ahead.
I will second that.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. On the agenda, we have a proclamation recognizing Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s Junior Day on January 2023. I'll read that into the record at this time. Whereas Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. dream of equality, and achieving social change through nonviolence have helped shape our nation. And whereas one of the City Council's priorities in the City of Crystal is in that city, this is my first time through it. Whereas one of the City Council priorities is that Crystal be a city in which all feel welcome. And whereas across the United States this January, the millions of citizens across the nation will honor and celebrate Reverend King's life and teachings, recognizing the needs and serving their communities. And whereas on January 16, 2023, celebrate and remember his legacy as an American hero and a tireless social activist who called upon our nation to ensure equal justice under the law, upholding our founding principles which recognize individual rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whereas Reverend King encouraged Americans to come together, regardless of age, race, creed, to strengthen their communities, alleviate poverty, and value the dignity and respect inherent in all people. Through his example, he taught the values of courage, truth, justice, compassion, dignity, humility, service, and brotherhood. Now therefore, I, Jim Adams, the Mayor of the City of Crystal, do hereby proclaim January 16th, 2023 as Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the City of Crystal and encourage all of us to act for the future betterment of our community. Dated this 3rd day of January, 2023. All right. Next, we have a consent agenda before us. Did I miss it? Oh, yeah. So none of the awards for the Crystal Sparkles are here today, but I will have Mike go ahead and tell us a little bit about that and how that went.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. The annual Crystal Sparkles Holiday Lighting Contest was in November and early December. The contest promotes community spirit and lights up Crystal for the holidays. This year we had 17 homes nominated for the contest. Nominations were judged on creativity, artistic design, overall visual effect. And this year we had the 2022 first place winner was Alex and Kelly Humble, and they were going to be here today until the weather hit us a little hard, but I do have a picture of their home so you can see. That's the first place winner.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then the second place winner is James Callahan, and he also couldn't be here, but this is his home.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So there were a lot of amazing displays this year. It was hard to judge. That's all I had, if you have any questions.
Where is the first place home? Is it off of Welcome Park?
So the first place home is on the 5400 block of Hampshire.
You can see
And
Marshall's
Yes,
behind.
yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And then James Callahan is on 32nd Brunswick.
Yeah.
Looks like a double lot. It's,
Sure does. Yeah. Another thing to point out, the prize this year was provided by Edina Realty, so that's something
actually,
different? No?
well, the realtor is Dave Long. He's a former Crystal resident, and he actually works for Emax now.
Oh,
But he's the one who sponsored the event.
okay, so it wasn't a company, it was a person.
So we're plugging both of them, right?
No, just the person,
Okay.
just the person.
Hey,
All
thank
right, thank you.
You bet.
All right, we have a consent agenda before us. I'll read that into the record at this time. The council considers the following items, which are routine and non-controversial in nature, and we do that in a single motion. First item is the approval of the minutes from the following meetings. The City Council regular council meeting from December 20th, 2022, and the, did I say council meeting? I think I did. And then the work session from that same date. Approval of the list of license applications submitted by the city clerk to the city council. That list is on file in her office. Approval of designating the Sun Post as the primary legal newspaper and the Star Tribune as the secondary legal newspaper for the city of Crystal for 2023. And then adoption of a resolution designating depositories for the city of Crystal for 2023. And approval of the following annual city staff appointments. PUPS, which is Pets Under Police Security, Board Member Deputy Chief Brian Hubbard, and alternate Chief Revering. That is our consent agenda. Looking for a motion on these? Therese?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent
All
agenda.
right, looking for a second? Go ahead.
I'll second.
Thanks, Tracy. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Do we have anyone here wishing to speak during open forum? No? Anyone here wishing to speak during open forum? All right. We'll skip by open forum at this point and move on to the regular agenda. First item on the regular agenda are disbursements of $25,000 or greater. I'll read those into the record at this time. The IRS for EFT and PS payments, federal and FICA withholding tax for pay date 12/9/22, $60,213. Albertville Body Shop for repair of number 214 Squad, which was damaged in a pursuit, for $25,757. Core and Main LP for 2023 annual payment for census system and purchase of radios for $27,531. Met Council for wastewater services for January, $140,378. Bituminous Roadways, Inc. for new public safety building project cost, $147,221. Ebert Construction for the police station, $59,304. Golden Valley Joint Water Commission for November water cost, $164,133. Kraus Anderson Construction, City Hall Administrative Side Remodeling, $117,712. Lake Town Electric Corp. for the police station, $61,735. Logis for police department facility wireless utilities fiber project, app support and hosting for $102,933. McDonald Company, new public safety building project costs, $89,765. SEH, Short, Elliott, and Hendrickson for 2022 and 2023 utility reconstruction. That's for Lead Park Stormwater, $29,165. West Metro Fire Rescue District for December contributions to West Metro Fire, $113,656. MinPara for employee and city required contributions for pay date 12/23/2022, $63,737. IRS for electronic payments for federal and FICA withholding tax for pay date 12/23/22 for $60,406. That's a longer one than usual. Total disbursements of $25,000 or more is $1,265,653.94. Any questions on any of these? Go ahead, Nancy.
Not a question regarding the funding, but Deputy Chief Hubbard, do you have an update on the siding? I think that was being replaced on I see the vehicle out there, or the lift.
Well, Councilmember LaRoche, as you may know, we've had some issues with the siding, and so the decision has been made. They've been trying to figure out is it the product, is it the installation, and they've been going back and forth. And instead of doing it again the wrong way, they have decided, I think they've determined what they're going to put up and how they're going to put it up, which will look similar, but I think they're going to wait until the weather is a little more cooperative. So we're probably looking at another 6 weeks, I think, before they do that installation.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on any of these? Go ahead, Nancy.
If no others, I'll make a motion to approve the list of disbursements over 25,000.
All right, thank you. Looking for a second. Go ahead, John.
The second motion?
All right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Second item on the council agenda is to consider the following appointments for different positions. And before us, we have my recommendations, and I'm guessing there might be some discussion on this. Don't know. Is anybody wishing to have any conversation on this?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I did, well, you and I talked briefly last meeting about commission appointments, and you asked me for my list of recommendations, and I sent them to you. I did not get a response from you at all on that list of recommendations, and the list that's on the agenda here doesn't quite true up with what I sent you. So I do feel that my list would give opportunities to various members of the council who have not had those opportunities before, and I think it's time for a change.
Okay. I didn't ask you for a list of recommendations. I asked you for what you were interested in. I did get your list of recommendations, and I did actually make some changes in what I had planned on doing based on that list. So I'm going to stick with my recommendations.
And just a point of clarification, you asked me which commission appointments I was interested in, and I told you all of them. And then you were specific to me, and then I told you specifically I was interested in being mayor pro tem and also being on the fire board as well.
Yep, I
So-
understand. Yeah. Okay.
That's,
All right. Any further conversation? Looking for a motion. Nancy?
I'll make a motion to approve the appointments for mayor pro tem and council liaisons and representatives for 2023.
All right. Looking for a second. Tracy?
I'll second.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right, roll call vote.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
nay.
Councilmember Cummings.
Nay.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Nay.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kiser.
Nay.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Motion fails.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we have the incoming council members take the positions of the outgoing council members for just each project, or each commission, as it were. Looking for a second.
Point of information.
Sure.
What exactly was that? Could you, how are you changing the motion?
Boy,
Do we have that
I
list?
do have it, actually. So, let's see, Mayor Pro Tem would be you, Forrest, and then, Banks, you would be Planning Commission, Tracy. John, do you have EDA? Oh, never mind, that's something completely different. So everybody else would stay the same. Yep, I think that's the only differences. And then, so, Forrest, Mayor Pro Tem, John, Environmental Quality, David, Parks and Recs, Tracy for Planning Commission, and then I would remain on ID. And Olga is on Beyond the Yellow Ribbons, that would be Tracy.
Oh, it should be.
I'm sorry, it should be
Forrest.
Forrest, my mistake. That's it. Any other questions? All right, looking for a second.
Was there a motion to approve that?
Yeah, I made the
Oh, you
motion.
made it. Oh, okay, I'll second.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay. Nay.
Roll call.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Nay.
Councilmember Cummings.
Nay.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Nay.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kiser.
Nay.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Motion fails.
All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead. Laura.
I move to amend the motion on the agenda.
There's no motion on the floor.
Oh, then I moved to make a motion then.
Yep, go ahead.
I move to change or to strike Mayor Adams from the Inclusion and Diversity Commission Council Liaison and replace that with Councilmember Cummings, and have Mayor Adams essentially switch them. So Mayor Adams would be the Planning Commission Council Liaison. That is the end of my motion.
Yeah, I'm not able to do Monday nights. Thank you for your motion. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
All right. I'm not able to do Monday nights. That's when Planning Commission meets.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
would you be able to meet on Wednesdays and switch with the EQC then?
Park.
Or the Park Commission, or, a different one? I'm open to amendments to my motion.
All right. So the reason I'm on the ID Commission is because it's a brand-new commission. You guys know this. I've been to 2 meetings. I'd really like to remain on the ID Commission until we get past formation, at least past formation. It's something that I think all of us who are on the council had some passion for. We went through a lot of negotiating in terms of what that looked like on the ordinance as well as the operating document. I'd really like to continue my work there. Before that, the mayor has not been on commissions, and I'd prefer not to be on the other commissions. This was something special as it was a new commission. So do you have another alternative for Planning Commission? Yeah.
I would recommend Nancy for the Planning Commission. She spent a lot of time this past year attending those meetings. She seems to have a passion for the Planning Commission. And my advice would be to have her continue that role.
If I could, I serve currently on the Charter Commission and the West Metro Fire Board, so I'm currently serving on 2. Monday nights are not good for me. I could try to make it work, but I can't guarantee that I could make those meetings. Also, just curious, the 4 of you seemed united when you came into this meeting with this motion and votes. Who decided? Did you all 4 meet and decide on this, or how did you all come up with this list? I'm just curious.
I put together the list.
You alone?
Yeah.
Without input from everyone else?
Yeah, no, I put
You
together the
didn't
list.
check to see if we were available? That's usually what the writing factor is. Are we available
I-
those nights? You just made that as Mayor Pro Tem or Mayor Pretend? I'm sorry. But this is,
I had a discussion with Jim, and I sent the information to Jim. Jim's the one that puts together recommendations, and he works with everyone to see.
You can stop
if it
right
fits.
there.
Yeah.
but you
And-
tried to halt that, it sounds like. You tried to intercede and just decide who's going to be on
No,
what.
I've been trying to work with Jim for quite a few years in terms of like mixing up, who's on the commission. It seems like the same people are on the Park and Rec, EQC, Planning Commission.
Which could be because of availability, John, and I don't agree, I totally agree, I agree with change, I'm just
Yeah.
wondering how this came to be.
Same thing with the Mayor Pro Tem. I mean, it seems like it's either you or Olga, it just goes back and forth. So it's time for a change. It's time to shake it up a little bit.
And
This is
shaking
it.
it up you are, but I'm just not understanding, that you're dictating these roles without our input. We should probably have had a work session perhaps to see who is available these nights, because I'm not available Mondays all the time.
Mayor Adams had plenty of time to work with everybody in terms of, their schedule and what fit for them.
But I already
Committee-
serve on 2 commissions.
Yeah.
I serve on 2 outside
Yeah,
of
but
this.
this is for this year. Yeah. This
And
is for
I'm
this year.
still
All right,
serving
all right.
on Charter and Fire Board, so I'm not, my availability for 3 things is not there. So it would have been nice to have been approached for this,
But my recommendation
rather
to
than just
Jim-
told that this is what I'm going to be doing.
So, these are my recommendations. What I usually go through is I usually make sure that everything's okay. And I've called everybody prior to the meeting.
Not me.
This year was slower. I asked you here.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. You said you wanted to be Mayor Pro Tem and you wanted to be on the fire board.
Yes.
So, those are the things that we talked about.
But I'm on the Park and Rec Commission. I spend a lot of time on the Park and Rec Commission.
You've also been on the Planning Commission.
I spent a lot of
NEQC.
time on the Planning Commission.
Yeah,
And I
we've
spent a
all
lot of time on
rotated, John.
EQC.
We've all
Yeah.
rotated.
Hold on. Last year I asked you the same questions and you said you'd want to stay at the same. It's not like I'm trying to do something to anybody. And the way that you kind of twist what's going on here in terms of the conversations we had, I don't appreciate it.
I feel like you don't appreciate my input, so I gave you my input and nothing happened.
I actually
Yeah.
put you as Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, but you quickly wanted to switch that in a
Well,
moment's notice.
that was just because it didn't go.
It was voted
It
down.
was voted down.
All right, well, let's go with my vote. Who's available to be, so you're not able to be on the planning commission?
Not every Monday, no.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah. Let's put this together.
I think
We should be able to work this out.
right here, right now.
Right now, yeah. Why not?
I
Okay.
don't know.
I'm fine with working it out. It would have been nice to have been notified. You guys seem to be all picked out before this meeting. That's why I'm just
I
curious.
have a suggestion. I'd be okay doing 2 committees, Planning Commission liaison, and then on the Inclusion and Diversity Commission. And the Inclusion and Diversity Commission's been a really, important thing for me, and I really want to...
Well, it's for all of us.
Yep. I've been really full-throated in supporting it. When I ran first time, didn't win, and ran a second time, and it's great to see where it's at, and I really want to see it to fruition. So that's kind of why.
So why don't we just go
I'm
back
excited about it.
why don't we just go back to my suggestion? I can remain on the ID Commission, and you can remain on the Planning Commission. Since you're willing to do
because-
that as well,
Because I feel like I'd be a better fit on the Inclusion and Diversity Commission.
why would you be a better fit there?
Because I feel like it's a big passion of mine. I think that's just something I'm really passionate about. It comes in my work as a teacher, and it's something that we've talked a lot about here. I just feel pretty passionate about it.
So I have similar passion in terms of the amount of time I've already put into it, into coming up with all the different word changes. Go ahead, Nancy.
And David, I really appreciate your passion and willingness to serve. I'd like to remind everyone, and 3 of us did attend the first meeting. There is nothing stopping anyone from coming to this meeting, and it is an advisory commission or position. It is not, you're there to be a liaison, not to make decisions and policy changes. So just understanding that, but we're all welcome to be
understand that,
there,
yeah.
no matter who is the liaison.
For sure.
So, I think they would love to have you there in any capacity.
Mr. Mayor, I have a couple things to say about you appointing yourself to the DEI Commission.
We don't have a DEI, it's an IND.
Former city manager Ann
IND.
Norris did. She
IND.
recommended him, not,
Yeah,
she said that, she stated that at the meeting,
Absolutely.
Trace.
Absolutely.
That was not Jim's idea, that was Mayor,
Okay.
or City Manager Norris's decision and
Okay, Ann
recommendation.
appointed you. From the get-go, you were not in favor of this. You were voting no. Your draft language had it sunsetting in 2 years, and then sunsetting in 3 years. And you just said earlier in this meeting, you have not been on a liaison to a commission until this one. I don't think you're a good choice as a liaison to this commission, because you, from the get-go, fought against it. And then you wanted to sunset it so it would disappear in 2 years.
So
Based on that, I don't think you're a good fit.
I think you have a little bit of liberty based on what I supported or didn't support. It seems that you're assigning a specific ideology or distaste for the commission itself. That's what's been going on social media. It's not the case. It had to be refined in a way where it wasn't. It had to be changed. I didn't like the way it was worded. All we did is we took a cookie cutter from Golden Valley, I believe, and there were some things on there that were inflammatory, and we fixed those things. And we went back and forth. Brendan and I spent way too many hours trying to duke stuff out in terms of understanding and learning and that sort of thing. And we got to a place where we were, we got the verbiage to a place where it works.
I agree. We did get to a place where it works, but your first initial draft was no, and then your second was that it sunsets in 2 years or 3 years. Why would you set it up?
We've
to
had
dissolve?
other sunsets, and
Not
it's
on a
just
commission.
it's one of those things that it didn't pass. I didn't care about the sunset. You're assuming that was something that just really was my passion to have a sunset.
Well, that would it go away in a relatively short period of time. You had it sunsetting in sooner than we could agree on language to establish the commission. I mean, we had talked about it for 2 years.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know where that language started. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it was from some of the stuff on that. What was the predecessor?
Human Rights.
No.
No?
the other- after
Oh,
that.
that was a task force.
That
That's
was-
why it had a
that was from
sunset
the
in there.
task force,
So that
yeah.
may have accidentally been
Yeah.
copied and pasted in
But-
there by mistake.
I don't recall, quite honestly.
But twice, you wanted it to sunset in 2 years, and then the next draft was 3 years. So from the get-go, you don't want to see this as a resource in our community 3 years from now.
That's been taken care of. There's no sunset.
True, but that also tells me you're not really interested in this commission.
So that is so not true.
Okay,
That is so
that
not
may be so, but I don't think you're a good choice for this commission. That's my gut feeling.
Okay. Forrest.
Mr. Mayor, since this is, I guess, my amendment, I'll say a little bit about it in terms of why I presented it. I nominated Councilmember Cummings to this commission specifically because we have talked about it. When I was campaigning, Councilmember Cummings did talk to me about this, and this is one of the things. If you go to my website, if you listen to my campaign material, this is something that's very passionate for me as well. And I listened to almost all of those work sessions about this topic, and I agree with Councilmember Kiser that I was quite disappointed in some of the ideas that I heard coming from the mayor about this commission, specifically around limiting its scope to items such as social credit, and kind of steering away from some of the root issues of kind of inequality for the people of Crystal. And in my conversations this last summer, I really realized that Councilmember Cummings shared similar ideas to me, and that's why I nominated him, because of that.
Interesting. We broadened to include more types of discrimination that were going on. We actually named them. You know, the conversation was about in the 60s when things were being done there. We enumerated them. We said you can't discriminate based on this and this. It's a new day, and there are different discriminations going on, and we enumerated the things that are going on today. So that's part of the conversation that we had is how do we make sure that discrimination is being covered everywhere, not just on a selected group, not just on you know, from a certain perspective. So I think what we did is we took what we had and made it better at that point in time. So I don't know. I think there's,
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. David, Councilmember Cummings, have you attended any of these meetings yet?
I have not, because Parks and Rec,
The same night?
same night.
Okay.
Now I think it is at 6:30?
Correct.
And sometimes it conflicts, Parks and Rec, but yeah, they do conflict on
They would,
Wednesday. Yeah.
okay. And just as an offer from someone who was at that first meeting, I found Mayor Adams, for what it's worth, extremely supportive as a liaison and helping champion some of the ideas, being very receptive. I didn't find any evidence, or I did not witness any sense of non-willingness to make this group succeed. I found quite the opposite. And that's just my observation. I found that from other council members that were there too. We were there to be there to support, to show them that we cared, that we wanted this commission to succeed. So a thing I would put out to you, if you find that you feel that Mayor Adams was not supportive of this in the beginning, when you attend a council or commissions like this, such as I had with the Environmental Quality Commission, which was going through some issues at that time and almost on its way out, but I found new people coming in and finding flourishing now and doing a lot of great things. I think that this is an opportunity for the mayor to be involved with this group, to help them champion it and succeed. I don't have an issue with it. I think it's an opportunity. Thank you.
yeah. John, go ahead.
I do agree that the mayor should be a liaison to a commission. I think that's a fantastic thing. But I also think that the mayor should be a liaison to a commission which has been well established. Because it's very important to, as a liaison, to be able to listen to the ideas that are going on within that commission and be able to not only bring forth what the council is working on, but also to bring back that information to the council itself. Therefore, I feel that the DEI commission is too new for that role.
We don't have a DEI commission.
It's just too new for that.
It's an
for that
inclusion and
role.
diversity.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is there a motion on the table?
Yeah, there is a motion on the table, one where I am Commissioner liaison, or liaison for the Commission of the Planning, and David's on the ID Commission.
But you said you had problems with Monday nights, correct?
I did.
Yeah. So Park and Rec is on Wednesday, so you could switch.
I am not planning on being on an established commission, like you suggest.
It's a good learning process.
John, my business is primarily at night. I run sober houses. Our meetings are at night. People work during the day, and they come for meetings. We have our house meetings in the evenings. We have our leadership meetings in the evenings. We have most of my work is in the evenings. So I'm not going to be able to do it. It's just not going to happen.
It's the same night as the Park and Rec.
Why, I'm sorry, how can you attend one set of meetings and not another if they're all in the evening?
On the same day.
Because, well, here's the difference. I basically have 0 evenings, and I will do it for the ID commission, but I won't for the other.
Okay.
I mean, my night sometimes ends at 11 o'clock. I sometimes go to meetings after meetings here. So,
Well, you can still be involved in the ID commission.
I'm not interested.
Without being a liaison.
Oh, the ID commission? Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we can all be involved in the ID commission
That's
without
right.
being liaisons.
That's absolutely correct. So what we're trying to sort out is the planning commission. Who can do the planning commission? And you want to do the planning commission.
Yeah, I could do that, and the IND commission.
Why? Why?
Well.
Why would you do, I mean,
I have the time to do two.
You have the-
But, if someone else is interested in planning commission,
I recommended Nancy. I thought she was a great fit for it.
she has been on there too.
I've been, no, on planning commission?
Not planning?
No, I've
All right.
not been a liaison, just
Okay.
attended.
Thank you.
So, all right. Nobody else is interested in it?
Well,
I
if
can't
nobody
do
else will
Mondays.
do it, I'm happy to be the liaison to the planning commission. They meet Mondays.
What do we have you doing?
I am,
You're CMC alternate?
yep,
And-
and no community work steering.
Yep. I like that. What do you think of that?
Well, I was kind of hoping for a change for the Blue Line Extension Corridor as well.
No.
Why?
That's generally a mayor position. Mayors are in attendance. I know there are some exceptions. Golden Valley, there's an exception. They're not on the line any longer, and their mayor has decided to allow someone else on the council to step in for him. It's less critical for Golden Valley.
Why is it so important that it's the mayor?
Because it represents the entire city. It's I don't know, it's customary. It's what everybody does. I'd really like to, yeah, I'm staying on that. All right, Planning Commission. Can we do a friendly amendment for Therese?
Well, I think Therese should be on the EQC.
Which
Yeah,
actually is my preference,
Yeah,
but
you're-
I just,
yeah.
if nobody else is able or willing
Why-
to take on the planning commission, I'm just
Why
trying
wouldn't
to,
you want to do something that you have passion for?
good
you know?
point.
Yeah,
Well,
But
you
nobody else
won't
was.
allow
I
me
mean-
to do something that I have passion for. I mean, what is this? This is just ridiculous. These are supposed to be mayor appointments. We've never had this kind of a challenge before.
Oh, wait a
Saying that
second.
I wasn't qualified for that
I've asked
position.
you every time, that we should get together and we should really work together on these planning,
work
on
with
these commission
individuals.
assignments.
I work
And
with
you have
individuals.
totally just ignored it, and you've gone and you've just, like I said, you've just basically switched people from one side to the other, and you pretty much kept the rest of us either like on the Park and Rec or Planning Commission or EQC. I mean, it's pretty much, it's been, it's time for change.
That's very
Yeah.
much a misrepresentation.
It's not a misrepresentation.
I
And we have a
call- I
list
call
here, we have a
everybody.
list here of past appointments, and it's like, it looks stagnant, it's like,
All right.
it looks like, what do they call it? Like, it's like nepotism is what it.
Forrest, would you accept a friendly amendment to allow Therese on the planning commission to cover that rather than myself?
Just to read the whole amendment. The amendment to the motion would be to keep the nominations on the agenda as are, except to strike Mayor Adams from the Inclusion and Diversity Commission, replace that with Councilmember Cummings, and then strike Councilmember Cummings and replace that with Councilmember Kiser. Is that the gist of your amendment?
That is correct.
I would accept that.
Okay. And then on Monday nights, I have the same option of showing up too, just as if I were not on it. So I'm good with that. I saw a hand.
Do we
No.
need a second?
No, we've already got a second.
Okay.
Oh, do we need a second on the amendment?
Wait a minute.
I think we do.
We need a vote on the amendment.
Yeah, so technically, Mr. Mayor, that's a separate motion to amend for that new list, and then there should be a second to that and a vote.
So I make the motion to amend based on what Forrest just said.
Second.
Forrest seconds it.
I just want to make sure, so the only changes to this list as written is that David, or Commissioner Cummings will be on the DEI, or ID Commission, and
Yes.
I will be on the Planning Commission. Do I understand that correctly?
I believe you
Okay,
do.
thank you.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Roll call.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Aye.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kiser.
Aye.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budashevsky.
Nay.
Motion carries.
All right.
Now, Mr. Mayor, it's a technical thing, but now you have the motion
I
in
do.
front of you. Okay.
So we have the motion with the amendment, taking myself off of ID and Therese on Planning Commission. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Yes.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kiser.
Aye.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budashevsky.
Nay.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. Next item is the council considering a resolution appointing Councilmember Nancy LaRoche as Crystal representative to the West Metro Fire Rescue District Board of Directors. Kim, you're listed for this.
So, Councilmember LaRoche was appointed last year. This is a one-year term, and these terms are usually 2 years. And the mayor has recommended that Nancy continue into that role for another year. Sure.
All right. Any questions? Looking for a motion? I'll make that motion. I'll move that Nancy LaRoche be appointed to the West Metro Fire Rescue District Board of Directors. Looking for a second. Go ahead, Terry.
I'll second.
Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All right.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kiser.
Nay.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budashevsky.
Nay.
Councilmember Cummings.
Nay.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Nay.
Motion fails.
All right.
Interesting.
Sure
Another
is.
collusion here. Is there a reason that you wish to be on this?
On the fire board?
I mean, and also, are you able to attend? Because I noticed you've been late for meetings.
I'm
with
able
your
to
new
attend.
position.
Yeah, I'm able.
6:30?
Yeah, I'm able to attend the fire board meeting.
And why are you interested? Why did you vote against me? I'm just curious.
It's time for a change, change it up a
After
little bit.
serving one term, 1 year.
For
And
what?
For this board,
On the fire board?
yeah.
I think I was pretty instrumental in.
Because there's a long learning curve, John. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm fine. I don't think I need to explain myself now, so.
There is a learning curve to this position. It has a vote. There's a long learning curve. And have you served on this before?
On the fire board? Yes, I have,
Okay, great.
yeah.
So you think I've serving 1 year is too long? And now there will not be, I don't believe there are no women on this, or no one of diversity. So just throwing that out there to you.
It doesn't have to be me, if that's what you're saying. You can
No,
always,
I'm
you
just
can nominate
curious.
somebody else if you'd like.
No, you
No.
guys have had it decided and you've met on this and planned it, so,
No, I recommended myself to the mayor for the fire board.
and you recommended yourself for this position too. And everyone seemed to have voted, in your group has voted
Well,
for this.
we've just had a discussion about that.
Not on the fire board.
All right, David?
I like the idea of John on there. I think he's served as a council person probably the longest of anyone on here. And whenever I have a question about like the fire board and things on that, I ask John. He's like got a great idea of experience because of those years on the council. I feel like he'd be a good fit in that regard, and I always feel like I learn a lot whenever I talk to him about the fire board. So, and he's been on it too, which is a bonus.
I'm sorry you didn't feel like you could contact me. I've never heard a question from you in this last year, so I'm sorry that you didn't feel you could come to me with any questions.
Okay.
Do we know when the next fire board appointment or meeting is?
I believe it's in February.
February what?
Third Wednesday?
Second?
Second Wednesday. So where's February?
Sarah, do you know?
February.
February 8th.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to continue this item. So we'll continue that to the next meeting. We'll have some well, don't need a motion, do I?
A motion to continue should be made if.
All right.
if that's the
I make a motion to continue this item until next meeting.
Question, is there a reason you have in particular on that?
Yeah. I'd like to have Nancy on the fire board, and I'd like to have some conversations between now and then. There's nothing pressing in timing, so I'd like to take my time before we move into another vote. Looking for a second. Nancy?
I'll second.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Roll call.
Councilmember Kiser.
Nay.
Councilmember LaRoche.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budashevsky.
Nay.
Councilmember Cumming.
Aye.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Abstain.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, just
Yes,
to
sir.
clarify, that was a continuation of this until the next meeting?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Item 4 on the agenda, hopefully will be a little less controversial. It is
Come on.
It is to approve the plans and specifications and authorizing advertisement for bids for the Bassett Creek Park pedestrian bridge and dog park.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Yes, these projects tonight, we have seen before. They've all been either bid or quoted before, and they all came in over bid or over quote before. So at those times, we said we were going to come back in January and request authorization to go out for bid. And that's what the plan is here tonight. So we have two projects. We've grouped them into two. We have two projects at Bassett Creek Park and one project at Grogan Park. So at Bassett Creek Park, we have the dog park project. This goes back to the master plan that we completed in 2017. That was one of the points that was discussed often during that plan, and a recommended location was selected. And since then, there's been a lot of discussion on the dog park. Back in June of 2021, the Park and Rec Commission reviewed other dog parks to gather ideas. Those were shared with our consultant. July of 21, the dog park design process began, and then over the winter of 21-22, plans were shared online for public review, and the commission reviewed plans each month as they were developed. The project is included in the 2022 Park Improvement Fund. All the approvals are in place. And as I mentioned earlier, it was initially bid in April of 22, but bids came in significantly high. Just a little refresher on that. The dog park is currently one dog park, and the new one would consist of a large dog park area and a small dog park area, each with an accessible trail that goes around the perimeter of it. The large dog park area also has a second exit for safety reasons. Well, I should point out that this summer, even though bids came in high last year, we were able to have trees removed, and that was actually primarily buckthorn and a lot of hazardous trees. So we did have someone come in and clear that out, and can I move that screen somehow? Matt? Behind Matt's face up there is a picture of the lodge. Can I drag it? Oh, I can. There we go. Go back to the large dog park area. So there's a picture on the upper right, how that will look. One of the desires was to have a shaded area because currently it's wide open. And then the small dog park area looks somewhat similar. It's a little bit smaller area. And this is fun. I'm going to move this over here now. The pedestrian bridge, we've seen these pictures before, was approximately 40 years old, could not support the weight of maintenance equipment, and was not plowed in the wintertime. The new pedestrian bridge will support the weight of maintenance equipment. It will be installed with a slight slope, so it will meet ADA standards. Bid is for the abutments only. You may recall a month or two ago, we were here talking about purchasing the truss structure, and that has already been ordered. Project is included in the 2022 Park Improvement Fund, and all the permits are in place for that. So the next steps for the dog park and pedestrian bridge, as I mentioned, they will be grouped as one project. Advertisement published in the newspaper on January 12th, second advertisement 19th, bid opening on the 31st of January, and then coming back in February to the council for approval of a contract. And then tentative start date is late April. Part of that has to do with road restrictions, and there's a lot of heavy equipment and a lot of heavy supplies related to this. And then the tentative substantial completion would be July. So the request for this one is to approve plans and specs for improvements in Bassett Creek Park and to authorize the advertisement of bids for construction of said improvements in Bassett Creek Park. And I believe there's a resolution in the packet for that.
All right. Go ahead.
So my question is for, people who might be listening, people who frequent Bassett Creek Park. So when could they expect, a bridge that's not a tree trunk, an estimated time?
The tree trunk has worked pretty well. No,
That's what I hear. I do hear that, yeah.
It has
yeah.
a nice rope grab.
Oh, does it?
So, so what we're hoping is to get construction then in the spring and then early summer, hopefully get that constructed. So we put a date of July in there, and that's largely so we can make sure we get bids. And if you restrict it too much, but then we will be able to work with the contractor and try to have them get in there as early as possible.
Cool.
What was the timeline that we had when we talked about it last? So that's changed. Is that correct?
Yeah, we were hoping to get it done late winter, early spring. So we're talking start time now, that time of year, because after we got to thinking about it, and road restrictions are typically March, April, maybe into May. Hopefully not, but with all the big beams and things that need to get brought in, we think there's going to be some issues getting that equipment in there.
Wow.
Just a question.
Go ahead.
Is there going to be signage that tells what constitutes large dog from small dog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. There'll be a whole signage package for the dog park.
Okay.
Therese?
Somebody raised the issue of the small dog park being on a hill, and the urine from the dogs might make its way to the creek and cause problems. Is there any mitigating aspects to this?
So that topic came up through the permitting process with the watershed district, and there was the permit approval actually got tabled while we got a hold of the administrator and the chair of the watershed, and we went out there and we walked the site and both of the sites. And there's a lot of signage. A lot of the discussion was on fecal material, but we do provide the bags and we do provide the garbage cans. And people generally, anecdotally, pick up better when they're in a dog park where there's other dog owners, because people kind of watch out for it a little bit better.
This particular, it was Rachel Braden, who has done a whole lot of work in that park. She was telling me that it's not about the fecal matter, because she was saying people pick up after their dogs. That's great. She was talking about the urine that might cause problems in the creek. And are there any mitigating efforts to prevent urine from getting into the creek?
So the surface of the area prior to this there was no ground cover. So things could run off fairly easily. It was a lot of buckthorn, and things don't grow well under buckthorn. We plan to have turf in there.
Okay.
And that helps with infiltration. And then there are the standard buffers from wetlands. So there's, I think it's average 30 feet buffer from any wetlands. So there's plenty of way for it to infiltrate before it runs off.
Her concern was that it's on a hill, and
Yeah, the large dog park area is more on a hill than the small dog park.
And one other question, is the large dog area going to be bigger than the one that's currently there now?
Yes.
It looks huge, actually, but just wondered. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's bigger than what we've got now, but considerably smaller than what you see around us in other cities.
Question, if I could?
Go ahead.
John?
Nancy.
I'm sorry if I missed this. Would the materials be wood chips similar to the other parks, or would it be different?
No, the intent is to try to get some grass to grow.
Excellent, okay.
So there's actually been grass seed planted on those pictures. It hasn't started growing yet.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, the canopy's not nearly as thick as it used to be, so that should work out well. Any other questions? Go ahead, Forrest.
John, the trail, I was trying to read the legend there. What is the material of the trail? Is it gravel or?
It's gravel, class 2, I think, but it's an accessible material, so that people that might use a wheelchair and want to have their dog with them can also use it.
So there's no cement as part of this project, then, or like asphalt or impervious surface?
Yeah, so from the dog park entrances are concrete.
Okay.
There are concrete patios, then there's a bituminous trail that goes from there to the parking lot. And then there are concrete pads for benches in there, but there's not a lot of poured concrete within the area.
Okay, thank you very much. It looked like to me that the trail and the entrances were the same pattern, at least on the map, so I was wondering.
So looking at the large dog area, it looks like, according to the legend, those inner paths are bituminous. Is that correct, or is that incorrect?
Does that show you? It's like this note here says, class 2 aggregate trail. And then the ones through the middle are existing foot trails that the fellows just keep them there. Because there's already some foot trails through there, so those aren't,
So they're not tar? Okay. They're
you
not
know,
going-
but the one going around it is an aggregate trail.
Yep. All right, a lot of conversation about dog park for a bridge. But yeah, it's good to have these conversations, keep it fresh in our minds. Any other questions for John? Seeing none, looking for a motion? All right, John, go ahead.
I make a motion approving plans and specifications and advertising for bids for improvements in Basket Creek Park.
All right, thank you. Looking for a second?
I'll second.
Nancy? Thank you. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Next, John is going to talk to us a little bit more about some bids on Brogan Park.
Yeah, so this one is for the south parking lot at Grogan Park. We were here last spring soliciting bids for this project, and this project came in well over bid as well. The parking lot here is in very poor condition. If you've driven by there lately, you see a lot, the picture on the lower right, a lot of light standards are missing and the concrete is askew. So this needs to be redone. So the Park and Rec Commission reviewed plans as they were developed. Project is included in the 2022 Buildings Fund, and the project meets the Watershed District requirements. And again, it was initially bid in April of '22, but bids came in high. So this is a reconfigured parking lot, and it improves pedestrian flow between the community center parking lot and the baseball fields. So you'll see, I guess this works. So down the middle of this is a sidewalk, so people can park along the sidewalk and then walk along a sidewalk to get into the building. All the handicapped is along the building edge, so that people who have accessibility, need accessibility accommodations can park closer to the building. There's also some closer to the baseball field. And then there's also a second exit lane out onto Douglas, because what will happen after a baseball game is everyone wants to leave at the same time. So this does accommodate a left and right going out of the community center parking lot. Currently, it's just one lane for exiting. So again, advertisement would be on the 12th and 19th, with bid opening on the 31st. Tentative a council award of contract on the 7th. Late April start date again on this one, and then probably mid-September for a tentative substantial completion of this parking lot. It's a little bit bigger project, so we're allowing a little bit additional time.
All right. Go ahead, Nancy.
And John, we discussed this prior to the meeting. I just wanted to bring it up for people listening at home. We had talked at earlier council meetings about those electric vehicle charging stations, and that's something that could be added later, correct?
That is correct. We've identified a location for electric charging. It's something that there's a desire to do. However, since the bids came in high last time, we wanted to make sure we were able to get the parking lot done. And we can always come in later and add those as long as we know that we have a location to put them.
Excellent, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, looking for a motion? Go ahead, John.
Make a motion approving plans and specifications and advertisement for bids for improvement in Grogan Park.
All right, Nancy?
Second.
All right, all members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. That was our last item on our regular agenda. We got a few announcements, not many. Next city council work session is Thursday, January 12th at 6:30 p.m. Council chambers at City Hall, and it's available for listening on Zoom. City offices will be closed Monday, January 16th in observation of Reverend Martin Luther King Day's Junior's Day holiday. The next city council meeting is Tuesday, January 17th at 7 p.m. here at the council chambers at City Hall. Again, you're available to attend via Zoom. City council meetings and work sessions are open to the public. Past and previous ones are available for viewing or listening on our website, www.crystalmn.gov. Are there any other announcements from council members? Seeing none. Are we having a different city manager at our next meeting?
On the city manager, Adam Arbel, will begin employment on
That
January
day,
17th.
on that day.
Oh, he's in
So
fire.
that will be something that we're looking forward to. So awesome. A, B, C, D, E. Motion? John, go ahead.
So moved.
Nancy?
Second.
All right. All members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.